Hello, Black in Florida. This is Keisha Boyd, your host, and you are tuned in for another episode of Being with Black in Florida. And I am so excited to have my special guest with me tonight, Miss Ashanta Williamson.
Hi.
Listen, Ashante and I go way back. This is my little sister, y'all. Okay. And she is very special to me. I met Ashante working at the rival, Bethune-Cookman University. Y'all know I'm a proud Rattler now. And they used to get on me because I still had my Rattler tags on my car. They'd be like, so you going to be on Cookman campus with your Rattler tag? Absolutely.
We
did. And am. Now I'm gonna put on this Cookman shirt at the class because I have to. My girl, that first year I was like, I don't know if I could really do this, y'all. I don't really put this Cookman shirt on while I'm at the classic. And my dad's friends were like, girl, had your dad seen you?
What you got on? Oh my God.
Like, what is happening? I was like, the money is green and they're paying me. They were like, oh, okay then. All right. Thank you. Go thank my thank you. I'll be over there after halftime. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so I wanted to have Ashante on because she's always been, in my eyes, a very wise, older soul, in my opinion. And yeah, I do. I think you're an old soul. I think you're very, you've been mature, and I think that you have like amazing leadership qualities. You're not afraid to talk to people. You're not afraid to lead and take on projects and step up when you have to. And I've witnessed that with my own eyes when we were working at Bethune-Cookman. And I mean, nobody's perfect, including me. We still have growing pains and things that we have to learn and fail forward, like we've learned, right? How many times we hear that fail forward. So yeah. So I just wanted to have her on and just talk about just, life in general, but particularly life as a young woman climbing the ranks in society, in corporate, in organizations, politics, whatever it may be. And just talk about, mentorship, the importance of lifting as you climb, and as my sorority sisters, they have a podcast called Corporate Homie. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. It's called Corporate Homie with Demetra and Denitra Simmons Liggins, and they they talk about all this, and both of them are doing very well. One's an attorney, one is president of the Tampa Bay Partnership here, and I respect them a lot. And they've really done their thing, and they're always talking about how important it is to groom, mentor. You know what I'm saying? Especially Black women and men in these corporate settings, because you need that corporate homie to help you navigate the waters, because they played the game. They already know the rules. They know the people. So when you latch on to somebody, you take them under your wings, you're expected to be a part of their board of trustees, right? To tell them, hey, make this move, make that move, try to help them avoid the mistakes that maybe we made as we were coming through. So I just wanted to have a conversation with my sis here and just really just talk through just that. So tell us, what's been going on. You're in Jacksonville. How's the scene in Jacksonville? Duval.
Duval. Yes, I have been adopted into the Jacksonville culture.
Uh-huh.
I will say that life in Jacksonville for a millennial can be sometimes indifferent. I think, I believe that Jacksonville is actually becoming the next Houston or Atlanta with all the different things that is going on here in the city. But as it relates to millennials, I think oftentimes we know that this is a space where we can really thrive. We can have our families here. We can do all these great things. But when it comes to the work world or professional world, we do have some road bumps. We find that there are a lot of leaders that really don't want to pass that torch behind and, bring us to, be prepared to take next. I
Mhm.
mean, we're up next.
Yeah.
And so it can be very, 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 very difficult, just climbing up the ranks, as you will say, um, finding true and authentic mentors that are not intimidated by young talent. So although it has some good, some great things about being in the city, just like any other city, there are some bad things, or not even bad, just areas of growth or opportunities of growth that just needs to be enhanced a little bit.
Yeah. And that's real talk. And I think that happens in many places, right? I think that not only in Jacksonville or just in life general, all over. I think that um there are sometimes people who are used to doing things the way they've done them.
Right.
They're used to excuse me, they're used to just operating as usual as they've been doing for 10, 20 years. But they have to understand there's so many things that have evolved and so many things that have changed. And, you know, we don't have to pass out flyers anymore. Like we don't, you know what I'm saying? We
Right.
don't have to do any of that. Like we can literally touch thousands of people with a click, you know. And sometimes even things like that with tech and just teaching different skills and it's difficult for them. And a lot of times I don't know um if it's a situation where they don't want to and they're being selfish or if it's fear.
Yeah, I think and I can see it being a fearful tactic because they don't want to be irrelevant.
And
And
yeah.
for me, it's your relevance matters. I'm always going to pay homage to those that has come before me, but in some stance, like you're not going to be here forever.
Mm,
You have to train. The Bible says, "Train up a child." Although I am a young woman trying to thrive, if I'm extending to you that I want to be trained up to one day be in a position that you are with
yeah.
high rank, you should be motivated and you should take that as an honor
Yeah.
that someone wants to be like you.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it's with other women that
Mm,
look like me.
yeah.
You would think, as just career wise, we always have these candid conversations about being a black woman in the workforce in a white world.
Mm,
But when it comes to somebody that looks just like me doing the same things that we've talked about other white women or white counterparts do to us, how do you maneuver through that? Like that is very traumatizing. So I don't know, like I've been trying to process and really understand that. And I often get asked the question of why are millennial women leaving Jacksonville,
mhm.
especially black women. Y'all are the issue. Why we leave? We don't want to be here because of y'all. You guys are not creating a space for us to really thrive. You're not paying us our worth. You want to lowball us? Like, no, we know our worth. We're gonna ask for our worth. So you just have to comply, or we're gonna leave. And
Yeah.
that's just what a lot of us have been really running into here. And I'm sure it's like that in every other city. I'm from West Palm Beach, and I know Palm Beach has its proclivities as well, but it's just so unfortunate, especially in a thriving area, that this happens.
So what is thriving in Jacksonville? What is, what's the thing? Like, Tampa, we have these sports teams and Lord knows everybody and their mama moving to Tampa area because honey, listen, I was like, I'm gonna be in this little house forever because I'm not about to pay $500,000 for a box and no backyard.
Listen, it's like that in Jacksonville. So of course we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. We almost made it to the Super Bowl, but it's okay. Catch us next year. We'll be out there in the Super Bowl. But outside of the Jaguars, we have our baseball team that's here. But most importantly, I believe that our downtown area is what makes the city thriving. Like we are there, they're doing a whole project right now between now and 2025 where they're going to reconstruct the whole downtown area. So we're getting a Four Seasons with you can pull up your yacht and just be at the hotel right across from the stadium. Um, they're doing more cultivation in the arts and culture community, trying to make it more arts and culture based. So the parks are being redesigned and reconfigured throughout the city. So I think the aesthetics of the city is going to be definitely better to make it be more attractive to where people will want to come to Jacksonville. But also, there's plenty of opportunity here as well outside of the situations that I just talked about. But, you know, throughout the Jacksonville Chamber, we have a component called Jax USA. And if you are a Fortune 500 company that wants to place your headquarters in this city, that's the entity that you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So we have FIS, which is a fintech company. Their headquarters is here. You have all of these big name companies that's here that's drawing their employees to be here. So the city is just growing, it's thriving. They're being more inclusive since DEI is one of those things that everybody wants to talk about now, post George Floyd and all those hashtag names that we do not have to mention because we will be here all night. So it's becoming more inclusive, and it's becoming more attractive for the younger generation.
Okay. Now, in regards to like, corporate mentorship, like I know that, do you have a corporate mentor?
So I have corporate mentors and corporate sponsors. So I
Okay.
think it's very important to distinguish the two. So, you know, your mentor is going to be the one that's always giving you good advice, doing all these great things. But your sponsor is going to be the one that's going to mention you in the room you're not in, and they're going to take your hand and bring you in the room. So I definitely have both. Some are corporate level, some are not. But because I like to have that balance, it's like having the angel and the devil, not really the devil, the angel and the angel on both sides. But one of the things that I had to do to acquire those high level advocates was I had to position myself to be vulnerable and transparent and not be scared to be in those rooms where they were in. So one thing a lot of people tell me, when I got here, I was like boots on the ground. People who lived here could not understand how I knew knew people that they couldn't even encounter, and they were from here. But that's all because I did my research and I knew if I wanted to be X, Y, and Z, I had to be in a room with the same room they were in. And then if I'm in that room, everybody's gonna know who I am before I leave that room. So I always thought that was very, very important. So through that and just being a part of different fellowships here, I was able to just really not only introduce myself, but I believe in having genuine relationships with people. I actually had that type of, like, I made time to sit with them. I knew where they're going for breakfast. I'm gonna show up. Like, you're gonna see me, and I'm gonna send you a text message as a follow-up. Like, that's just the type of person I am. I'm a real go-getter because nothing was ever given to me in life. So I know I have to, if I want it, I gotta go get it. So with that, I had to make that ask, like, can you this is what I want to do, this is what I'm trying to, like, what I'm trying to be in, can you mentor me? If I knew I couldn't pay for it, or if I knew I wanted to be in certain rooms, can you be my sponsor, because I know you have that capacity. So I just had to step out on faith. I had to ask and I got, through God, I was granted every time.
Because you know what? My mom always say, and I say it, I always say it too, a closed mouth never gets fed. Never gets fed. Because who knows? If you don't open your mouth, and all they can say is no. All they can say is no. And if you come at them with the right attitude, you're prepared. You're not coming on no BS. You're not slacking. You're not showing up late. You're not dressed crazy. You come and represent them well. They're going to always say yes. Because it makes us proud as sponsors and or mentors when the people that we pour into, give us something to be proud about. We want to cheer you on. I'm speaking for myself and my circle of friends. We want for you to be successful. We want for you to be in the rooms that you need to be in. All of that we do. I've never had that crabs in a barrel type mentality. Okay. I've always believed in collaboration versus competition, right? Because just because I'm winning does not mean that you cannot. At the same time, in the same field, in the same industry, we can both be doing very well. We can even help each other. I'll never forget, and it hurt me so bad. It was Super Bowl here, was it 2012, maybe? Whenever Super Bowl was here, 2009. I don't remember. And I got a contract with Super Bowl. And there was another Black woman who was in PR who did not get a contract. And she called one of the people on the board, and basically was like, I've been in business longer than her, longer than she has. I do this and I do that. And I, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, well, if we were considering to give you a contract, we're not now, because why would we? You had why would you call to, basically downplay my skills, down to uplift yourself? Like, that is, but I was hurt because literally I had just talked to this woman on the phone 2 days ago, hunky dory, like, hey, how are you? Because I'm not that way. You know what I mean? If I can help another publicist or somebody doing PR and they need a contact and I got it and I'm cool with them, I'm gonna give it to you, because collaboration, because I might need you one day. It could have been a situation where they said, oh, okay, well, these two young Black women are both doing PR. Let's give them a bigger contract that they can work together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't thinking like that. All she was thinking about is, being upset because she didn't get a piece of the pie. And it was embarrassing, honestly, because the person that she called was a Black man, and he called and told me, and he was like, I was so embarrassed that she did that. I really, really was, because it's just a misrepresentation of the Black excellence and da da. And it is when you do things like that. It's you're not expecting. Let me show it out in front of company. You know, she showed out in front of company. Okay, and that's awful. It is awful. So, and I know that you are you yourself, even as a young lady, mentor others already. And do your part in making sure that you pass on the skills that you've learned.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I use every situation that I've gone through. I just use that as a reminder of what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, because even now, I be like, okay, God, I don't understand. But what I tell myself to as a just a motivation is, I'm not going through this for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through this for whomever is coming behind me, so
Mm-hmm.
I can make sure that they don't make the same mistakes, or they know how to respond properly.
Mm.
Because that means a lot,
Yeah.
especially especially navigating through different cities that you're not from, or just these high elite spaces. They always look at what your response will be, especially when you're younger than them, because they think you're just gonna pop off. And
Yeah.
don't let it be a room full of white people.
Okay.
Because they always think that your initial reaction is going to be, oh, angry Black girl. No, you're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
Like, so I will gracefully bow out,
Mm-hmm.
or grace to respond with some type of grace, because that's something that you will never, never. I had to learn that the hard way. You will never say, Ashanta act a plum fool.
Wow. Yeah.
Anything. So no.
Okay. Sorry. That's my mother trying to pop me on. Jesus.
It's okay.
All in the middle. I'm like, Mama, Lord. Look, this is real. Look, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna edit that out, but we'll see. But anyway, but that's good, and that's that, and you're right. Yeah, I put a post not even probably a week ago that said, lesson of the day: do not respond to emails or texts when you're emotionally distressed. When you are under emotional distress, don't do it, because you're bound to say something that you want to take back, that you want to, you know what I'm saying, that you wish you could, like, ooh, maybe I should have said this a different way, or something like that. But look, you can't undo it. You
Right.
can't undo it. It's done now, and you got to live with the consequences of what you said. But a lot of times, when we do that, I would say we're warranted most of the time. But once again, like you said, you have to have some class and some grace and then, a lot of times things get misconstrued, misunderstood when it's text and email because people read it and receive
They
it
read
differently.
it in the tone that they want to read it in.
You know
Although
what?
sometimes I'm like, y'all should read it in that tone because that's how I meant it.
That's
But
right, right, right.
for me to receive it. But
Yes, yes. Honey, I am the queen of exclamation points, especially in text. And it's a habit. And just recently I was talking to a coworker who I absolutely adore and love. And I was a little testy that day. I was on edge and I was exclamation. She was like, "Oh, the tone in these texts, honey." I was like, "Girl, I love you." And I don't it's a habit. But then I had to go back and realize that, you had an attitude and you need to apologize. And I did. I did just that. I apologized to her and I said, I was under some stress and I apologize for basically snapping at you because you didn't deserve that.
right.
And that's I'm like, and I know this. We practiced this a long time. I've been in business for 23 years. I know better. You calm down, take a breather, then respond. you know, but sometimes in our moments we just, we just let it kind of take us. So what is Ashante's like? What is your ultimate goal? What do you think your life's purpose is? Do you know yet?
So if you would have asked Ashante that was walking on the hill, because I gotta pay homage to FAMU. That's where I started.
That's where her foundation comes from. That is what set her on the road to success.
I will say this set me up for Bethune Cookman. It really, really did. It did set me up for like I know that's really
The
how I
tenacity that you were going to need at Bethune
yes,
Cookman.
it gave me everything I needed. But I would have literally said that I would have been a president. I want to be the president of the United States. Like nobody could not tell me that I was not going to be the president.
Yeah.
But as I'm like really truly understanding like my purpose and where the path that God has really placed me on, I didn't lose that political value. So I'm very like, I know I want to be an advocate of some sort. But I think I'm more so passionate about serving people, whatever entity that is in. I know that I am a servant leader. I had the name Olivia has been coined tied to me.
Like Olivia Popish.
Yes, here in Jacksonville, it's so annoying. Oh my goodness, minus the whole scandal, but
Yes.
so I'm like I'm understanding that I am a fixer. Like you call me, I will figure it out. Like I sometimes I don't even know. So I'm trying to tie the fixer part with fundraising. I was not passionate about raising money at all, but money simply falls into my lap, my hand. Anytime that I'm telling the story of whomever I'm working for, I'm able to get them whatever dollars that they need.
Amen.
So I'm tying all of that together to figure out, what that name is. I don't know. God didn't give it to me what the title is
So
yet,
it's
but
not like lobbying.
oh no, that's how I started my career.
I know. It's not lobbying because we
It's
know how that
not
goes.
lobbying. It's really not. I think, but I also have the rooted passion comes from just education. So, but education for Black and Brown students.
Yeah.
So, I think tying all of that into one will give me whatever my dream job or what God has destined me to do. It'll be all that encompassed in one. Um, I just want to make sure that our youth are thriving, especially when it comes to getting into colleges, whether it be Ivy League, HBCU, whatever the case may be, making sure that they have the resources to go there and get there for free, like
Amen.
debt free.
Read. Hello.
Ensuring that, if while you're in college, if you have some entrepreneurial background or something that you want to start, that you have the resources to start that. So when you graduate, you're able to have your degree, but you do have your business on the side. So you can tap into the corporate world if you want to, but you always going to have your fallback plan. And if you decide to do your business, that can be your fallback plan. So I think I'm just passionate about so much, but that's like where I'm really honing in on just in this season of my life. The education side, entrepreneurship for our youth, advocacy, making sure that their voices are heard, they have the dollars that they need. And even for myself, mental health is something that is really big for me. After having my son, I was like being a single mom, trying to figure it out, just really not feeling like I was fit to even be a parent. Going through the motions of that, then getting sick, being diagnosed with Graves' disease, and nobody in my family ever heard of it or had it. So that can weigh a lot on just women, or that weighed a lot on me. And really being vulnerable enough to say, I need to seek therapy. I got to figure it out. I'm vocal about everything else, but when it comes to my feelings, I'm like, I don't trust y'all like that. I don't want to talk to y'all. But I think it's important. Just, I'll be 33 this year. It's important for me to just really understand that I have to live each day to the fullest. I need to stop telling myself that I am just existing, that I really need to live, because every time you turn around, somebody is dying, some traumatizing is happening, and I never want to look back on life and saying, oh, I wish I did X, Y, and Z.
Shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Right. So that's just where I am right now.
Good for you.
Trying to figure everything out, because that's just what it is. Typical millennial answer, trying to figure it all out. But
the millennial, y'all, I mean, I'm borderline, but I'm not.
You are low key.
Borderline, yeah. But one thing I do admire about you all as a generation is y'all are loyal, but y'all are not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't working, it ain't working. And y'all like, I'm out. I'm out. Like, what? 20 years on a job. I got 20 months. Like, I got 20 months and I'm out. But I am such that way too. Like, I don't mind leaving a job or a situation if it's not working in my best benefits. Because at the end of the day, if they run you in the ground and you fall over tomorrow, guess what they're gonna do? Put your job on Indeed.
Get somebody else. What's so crazy is, like, because I'm heavily interviewing right now, and since being in Jacksonville, I've literally stayed on a job for a year. It's like a year and a couple of months, and it's not nothing wrong with it. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But to the employer, they're like, what? Why
are you sticking around?
Well, yeah, and I think, and I had to really break it down and explain to them that it's, look at it as I've exceeded all of my skill sets to where it's nothing else for me to do there. Every task that has been given, I achieve over and beyond. And I do so well that somebody notices me and offers me a job that pays more, but it aligns with my core values. So you can't really judge me based upon being on a job for a year. Look at all of the accomplishments that I've acquired during that time frame. But it's just so crazy how people take it's like people want us to be on the job for 5+ years. No, if we got to get to a point where I don't want to be complacent.
Yeah,
So if we both have a mutual agreement that this is not going to work, then
let's
we
part.
good. Don't judge me.
Exactly. Don't judge me. Don't hold me. Don't hinder me.
Right.
Wish me the best and blessings, and I'm gonna see you when I see you,
Mhm.
and that's that. I mean, we've all been on the receiving end at some point of having to transition unexpectedly. I have twice in my professional let me see, one, two, three times had to pivot, but the last two times it was perfectly fine, and this most recent, it was still perfectly fine when I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, all right, because
Mhm.
I'm like, I know that I can get out here and hustle if I gotta go hustle and make my money. I'm not gonna be on the street. My baby not gonna be hungry. Like my
Right.
family gonna be good because
Right.
I've been in this business for 24 years and I know what I can do and what I bring to the table. So, if you don't appreciate that, I'm perfectly fine with that and I'm okay with that. I'm just not the
Exactly. Yeah. And that's you leaving with grace, because even in my situation, what really rubbed me the wrong way was, I think they were just so embarrassed because, one, it was a whole lie. But I'm gonna let them have that one.
Yeah.
I think the most embarrassing moment where I had to just like catch myself is when they said, "Well, this is the narrative that we need you to say to everyone."
What?
No, like what?
So you want me to make you look good. You want me to paint the picture that is rosy and pretty, and you gonna coach me on how to I am grown.
And for me,
Oh, no, no.
I was so upset with myself because of the respect that I had for leadership. I
Mhm.
said, okay, I'm not gonna put y'all out there like that. I'm gonna just let it ride. But as I really, because one, that was just a traumatizing experience, especially when you've given your all to an organization.
Mhm.
But that was a wake up call for me. Like, one, you ain't gonna, gonna tell me what to say. No, I'm
Uh-uh.
gonna be very vocal. And I had to really stand. Black Girl Magic had to really
Yeah.
stand. I had to stand in that. Like, no, I'm going to be very vocal. I'm going to be very honest, and
Mhm.
like, if someone asks me, no, this is what happened. Because why would I not be transparent? Like, why would I hide that? No,
Right.
like,
Especially
it's
not
so
for
exactly. So it's just so unfortunate that, again, it's always our people that kind of like do us like that. But at the same time, in my response, I'm just very proud of myself because that could have went left real quick.
yeah.
But I did exactly what you. Okay, it's okay. I guess in this season, this is where God does not want me to be, and I will politely,
Stop to get off the tree.
gracefully pack up all my stuff and I'm gone. And
Absolutely.
I was just so proud of myself in that moment. But it was one of those like, I what?
It's maturity. It's a level of maturity that, and you'll continue to get there. You know what I mean? After a certain amount of time, like I decided that if I took a job, that it had to be something that was pertaining to my culture. It had to
Mm,
be black.
yeah. Yes. I
I'm
feel like
been
that's what
there.
I'm in right now. Like, I need to be with woke people.
If it's not pertaining to the upliftment, betterment, effect of my black and brown communities,
Yeah.
I really am not interested.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
okay with saying that. And I don't care who judges me for it. When
Right.
I step out and want to do projects, most of the time it's for black and brown communities because they need it. They need the support. We will never catch up to mainstream. So I'm always going to be pulling for the resources, always going to be looking for the opportunities for black and brown communities because we are always going to be behind the eight ball. We're never going to catch up. Not in
Yep.
that sense as a whole unit. We're not because it's not the world is not designed for us to do to
Mhm.
catch up. They're gonna do everything they can to keep us back and
Yep.
behind. And so I am proud that that is my personal mission is
Yeah.
to to work on my HBCUs, provide the opportunities for the HBCU students, make sure that these big corporations are going to the HBCUs to provide opportunities, etc. That's where my love and passion lives. And I can see a lot of that in you too.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely think that, like I told you before, anytime you want me to sit down, talk with you, help you through, brainstorm as when I can, I'm always going to be here for you, little sis, because I believe in your talent. And you're
I know.
able. I do believe in your talent. I do believe that you're able to do anything that you set your mind to. And plus you got a son that's dependent on you to show him the way. And we're
Yeah.
not gonna fail our babies. We're not gonna
No.
fail them. It's not an option.
Although he thinks he's my dad, it's okay.
Exactly. Mine does too. Mine does too. Telling me I gotta do, mommy, it's past your bedtime, sir.
I'm like,
Mm.
okay, who knows this?
And he will ask, Mom, are you older than me? I am. I push you out. What are you talking about, son? But I say all that to say, keep pushing,
Yeah.
keep growing, until you find your way. Just make your own. You never know. Like, you might, if you start jotting down the things that you want to do, and you find that, well, I got a business. I'm a consultant. I'm Ashanta Williamson consultancy.
Oh my goodness.
Focus
Okay.
on.
Okay, God.
Hey, there's too much money out here to get for you not to have it. You know what I'm
I
saying? There's
know.
too many opportunities out here, and too many people that need what you have for you not to go and do what you got to do.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that you got to jump out there and do it full time right away. But I am saying, don't suppress your gifts for anybody.
Girl, let me do some offering.
I'm just saying, don't suppress them. Don't ignore them. Don't be afraid. I mean, because a lot of times when we feel something and we really want to go, it's fear, and I'm guilty of it, and still guilty, because even in my ripe age of whatever, in my 40s, okay, and being in business for the amount of time, there's still some times where I have imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
where I don't think, oh, how am
Mhm.
I gonna make this work? Where am I gonna get the money to do this, that, and the third? And I was like, and every year you're like, you gotta do it. But I made a commitment to focus on a couple of things, get them rolling right, and then do the others. And that's what we have to do, is just set our little goals, and just check them off, and figure out who's in our life that can help us get to the next. And
Right.
what I'm saying, a lot of people, you've made a lot of connections, girl. Use your gift. Create
Mhm.
your own narrative, do your own thing. Don't let nobody paint no pictures of you that you did not authorize them to paint.
Yeah.
Okay?
You done gave me my word
There it
for
is.
today. And I told myself this year I'm making sure that I do two things. A women's conference to hit everything is happening here, but nobody's really tapping into spirituality. So
Mhm.
I want to do a women's conference here in Jacksonville, which is going to be in June. And then I really want to do an event called Strong 100, where I'm honoring 100 Black young leaders here in the city, some known, some not known, but it's going to provide them the opportunity to actually be in the same room with, we talked about mentors and sponsors, so that exposure piece. So I wanted to provide that level of resource, but I want to also change that, or make it more into like eventually down the line, a young Black chamber.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that were two things that I'm telling myself I'm gonna do. I don't
Yes.
know. It's just gonna come. God gonna figure it out.
That's
But
right.
I know that I definitely want to do that, because if we create that space, especially like you said, a lot of people are having businesses.
Mhm.
Okay, you can come to us and we're gonna help fund your business.
Mhm.
We have the major chamber, and you talked about knowing people and having that level of resource. I sent everybody that come to me that have a business, young, older, whatever, I send them right to the chamber. Like they're acquiring more Black businesses there. So being able to have that as an outlet as well, I know that it'll just end up being amazing.
Yeah.
But it all starts with me actually doing my part so God can do the rest.
Amen. Yes, yes. Hallelujah. All right, my love. It's so good to talk to you. Thank you for coming on Being with Black in Florida.
You
And
so much for having me.
we'll of course, and we'll certainly keep in touch and keep track of what you got going over there in Duval County. All right, have a good one, love.
You too.
Okay, bye.